the place.
No. So, Madam Chair, I would like to officially present you with our papers to file in the first in the nation state, this beautiful state of South Carolina, on behalf of President Biden and myself.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. My name is Crystal Spain, and I am the chair of the South Carolina Democratic Party. Welcome to the final day of our filing period for our historic first in the nation primary. I am just completely overjoyed to be here today with two of our party's most incredible leaders, our very own Congressman James Clyburn and Vice President Kamala Harris. South Carolina voters matter, and their presence here today confirms that. South Carolina has a very special relationship with President Joe Biden and Vice President Harris. And I am proud of the role the Palmetto State played in ensuring that they would go on to win the White House. And I am completely honored to accept their filing today. This primary is historic, and our voters are going to turn out for them again. Now I'm going to pass it over to Congressman Clyburn.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Thanks for your leadership in this great party, and thanks to all of you for being here today. This is really, really an incredible demonstration of what South Carolina is all about. I tell people all the time that South Carolina has 4 distinct cultures. If you can acclimate and really penetrate in the PD, the Piedmont, the Midlands, and the Low Country, you have done what is necessary to win the presidency in November. And we've done that time and time again. Now, before I present our incredible Vice President, let me thank, first of all, the men and women who have served our nation so well, kept our freedoms intact, laid foundations for me to be where I am, for the Vice President to be where she is, and for President Joe Biden to be where he is. We are celebrating today Veterans Day. I know Veterans Day is tomorrow, but we're celebrating it today. And I just want to thank them for the work they've done. For all that you did to make Joe Biden and Kamala Harris the nominees of this party, and all that you did to lay the foundation for them to become the leaders of the free world. Yeah. And for her to come back here today and to be a part of this says a whole lot about us, South Carolina State people. And those other 7 HBCUs in South Carolina. We have 8, and I represent 7. And I'm glad she did not come this time last week, because the Bulldogs showed the Bison a thing or two last Saturday. But I want her to know she is still all right with me. Ladies and gentlemen, Kamala Harris.
You still all right with me too? Let me just start by just saying to all the friends, the long-standing friends who are here, thank you so very much. It is my joy, my honor to be back here in South Carolina with these extraordinary, extraordinary leaders, starting with our leader, Jim Clyburn. I don't need to tell the people of South Carolina what a leader he is, but I will tell you that he is one of the closest advisors and friends to our president and to me, always speaking with clarity, always speaking truth, and always grounded on what is in the best interest of the people of our country and the families of our country. So in front of all the friends, Leader Clyburn, I thank you for all that you are. Madam Chair Spain, we see each other. I see her traveling the country from time to time. She is always representing South Carolina and reminding people and Democrats everywhere of South Carolina and its role. And so to be here today and to just for a moment appreciate this moment in the context of history, first in the nation, and then putting it in the context of what happened in 2020, when it was South Carolina that created the path to the White House for Joe Biden and me. South Carolina, who understood and believed in the promise of America and the importance of, with optimism, fueled by a sense of hope and understanding of what is possible, then fought for our democracy and for right of all people to participate. So I'm here to first and foremost thank everybody because of what you did in 2020. We have then come into office and with your support done a number of things that have been transformational for our country because of the work of the folks here in South Carolina. Seniors in our country, across our country, who have been suffering from diabetes and trying to make decisions about whether they could afford to fill their prescription or put food on the table, now are going to have their insulin capped at $35 a month because of the work that came out of South Carolina. I will never forget in 2019 and 2020, traveling to rural parts of South Carolina to meet with leaders and community leaders to talk about the need for accessible and affordable broadband. It's so impacted the way that the President and I have been thinking about it. And because of the work of the people here, we are now on path to get affordable and accessible broadband for all people in our country, including our rural families, because of the work of the folks here. The folks here said, let's deal with the issue of lead pipes, finally, that our babies should not have to drink toxic water coming out of those pipes that impacts their health and their ability to learn. Because of the work of the people in this room, we were elected and have been able to now be on the path to eliminate all lead pipes in our country over the next several years. Because of the people in this room, many of us very proud HBCU graduates, some of us who graduated from the Mecca, we understood the importance of recognizing extraordinary academic institutions and giving them the support they need. And because of the work of the people in this room, we have now invested over $7 billion in our HBCUs. The time that I and the President spent in South Carolina, a lot of it was small business owners who talk with us about their ambitions and their dreams about growing their business, because they are not only business leaders but civic leaders and community leaders and role models. And so we got in office and have now invested billions of dollars in increasing access to capital for our small businesses, with an emphasis on minority small business owners, understanding what they do to contribute to the strength of our economy. And I could keep going on. But I say all of that to say, again, thank you. It started here in South Carolina. The work that we have accomplished that will benefit people who we may never meet, people who may never know any of our names. So much of it can be attributed to the fight, to the commitment, and to the perseverance of the people in this room and in this state. So I'm here to say thank you. I am here to say, let's do it again. We will do it again. 2024, there is so much at stake. As I travel the country, I don't need to tell anybody, I do believe there is a full-on intent by some very powerful people to attack so many of our hard-fought, hard-won fundamental freedoms and rights. And it is time that we then show them that we understand that the American people do believe in the foundational ideals of our country, which include the freedom of a woman to make decisions about her own body and not have our government tell her what to do. The freedom of our young people in particular to be free from the fear of gun violence and the need for reasonable gun safety laws. The freedom of people to be able to love who they love proudly and without judgment. The freedom of people to be able to have access to opportunity where we are not afraid to discuss diversity and equity and inclusion, understanding that that is part of how we will create a stronger economy and a stronger nation. We are fighting for fundamental freedoms, including the freedom of people to have access to the ballot and be able to vote. In the midst of those who are passing laws, who would dare to make it against the law to even give people food and water when they're standing in line for hours. The hypocrisy abounds. What happened to love thy neighbor? These are some of the basic things that are at stake in 2024, a fundamental fight for our freedoms. And so we are here with the wind in our back because did anyone notice what happened on Tuesday? I'm going to require a longer memory. Did anyone notice what happened in the midterms? In the midterms, remember all the punditry talked about a red wave? That red wave never hit. No. What we saw was from Kansas to California, and then on Tuesday, from Ohio to Virginia, the people, whether they be in so-called red or blue states, voted for freedom. They voted for liberty. And by extension, they voted to uphold our democracy. And so all of that is at stake. We have momentum. The wind is at our back. And so let us continue to do what we know how to do. This is a fight for, not against. And it is a fight born out of our sincere and deep love for our country and understanding what is at stake. And I'll close with this point. I have now, as Vice President, met with over 100 world leaders, presidents, prime ministers, chancellors, and kings. When we walk in those rooms representing the United States of America, we walk in chin up, shoulders back, with the self-appointed and earned authority to talk about the importance of rule of law, democracy, human rights. And the thing about being a role model, everyone here knows. When you're a role model, people watch what you do to see if it matches what. People around the world are watching what is happening. And I'm so proud to walk in those rooms and say that I know how our country and the people of our country are prepared to fight for our democracy. And we understand that our democracy will only be as strong as our individual willingness to fight for it. And so fight we will, and when we fight, we win. Thank you all. Sí se puede.